Look at the two save files looking up in amazement at the 100% one. It's fucking adorable. Hello Internet, and welcome back to more Kirby Superstar Ultra. In the last episode, we raced King Dedede in a short and pleasant game mode. This time we're starting the longest one in the game. Kinda tied for the longest one in the game, honestly. There's a couple game modes in Kirby Superstar Ultra that you'll find are a bit more of their own game. Not necessarily like full game length, just more of their own separate thing than, say, Spring Breeze, where you can beat the whole thing in like 30 minutes and then beat Dynablade in another 30 minutes. Great Cave Offensive is the hardest game in Superstar Ultra. Not in Superstar, not Superstar Ultra. I guess we'll find out more as we begin. It is not my first time, and we'll be going over everything related to it as we go through. So, right away, look at the bottom screen. That is all the areas we have to go through. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which may sound intimidating, but there are only 4 major ones. Now, if you want to know how long this game mode is before we even start moving, the Great Cave Offensive takes up approximately a quarter of my notes. I just went through and checked. It's a very long one, and we aren't going to be getting through this one in one episode, so yeah. First game we can't beat all at one time. First room is kind of funny. It just says Kirby. I don't know what the point of those platforms are. These are platforms. They're not. They're one way for some reason too. They look like they'd be two-way ones if they were in the air. I'm gonna start off by getting Knuckle Joe. I don't think we actually need Knuckle Joe yet. The gimmick of Great Cave Offensive is if you press up in front of a treasure chest, you get a treasure. Here we found the gold medal. And if you look down below, 1 out of 60. There are 60 of these to collect, and believe it or not, they are not all out in the open like this. This is kind of like Pikmin with extra steps. Okay, flower. So I'm recording this on Christmas Eve. Just got the sudden urge to record this treasure chest. You just have to swim to the edge and then you can easily get it this way. I used to not understand this one. I thought there was like another room you had to go to and then the current in that room would lead you over here. They're not using that puzzle. Yet. Rest assured that is how you get a treasure chest later in the Great Cave Offensive though. For this one, you want to hit this and this. There's nothing for this to blow up beneath it. If you hit this, we'll see what it does. We'll hit it after we get the treasure. That is jerkish enemy placement, okay. Here's the whip. If we go back above and hit this, it just spawns a wall of lava so we can't get the chest until we leave the room and come back. Jerkish enemy placement. Well, jerkish puzzle, I guess. Alright, in this room we want to get rid of Fighter to get Bird. Or Wing. I'm always going to call it Bird. The downward aerial attack for Bird is important for this puzzle. It sends a shockwave in 2 directions, which makes it so we can easily get through this. When we hit this, it gives us a way out and a treasure, a crystal ball. I never actually went over Bird and Gourmet Race, but it does have just a ranged attack that you do just by pressing B, just sends feathers out. It's not a bad attack. It would be better if it just sent them in a straight line, honestly, though. We go up here. Lucky cat. We seem to be getting a lot of these all at once. Don't worry, it's not going to be like this the entire time. You are going to have a lot more challenging things in the future. Alright, so next up, we get to keep going. I need to remember... So I haven't Let's Played a game on a, like, portable or handheld console in so long that I've, like... I've forgotten, like, the principle of looking at the console instead of the capture, because the capture has about a second delay, which... I just messed this up. Okay, we're going back. Okay, in this room, avoid anybody touching that middle tile. Because if you do, when you hit this, and that explodes, the treasure chest won't fall into the lava. If you touch the middle platform, then it falls in the lava before you get a chance to go down. We're gonna actually go up first. Have to kill these Bronto birds, because they are going to be annoying. That's what those enemies are called. Kirby enemies have weird names. They're either something, like, really obviously Kirby-like Waddle Dee, or they're just Bronto Burt. What is a Bronto? What does that mean? Okay. Okay, if we didn't have a partner... Never mind. Okay, we're gonna bring Fighter back. This Fighter will have an easier time with this. There we go. Treasure chest under the ground. Screw attack, that is a Metroid reference. Do we got anything else that's a reference to something else? This sword is probably a reference to something else, but I don't know what. I will be going over what treasures are a reference to if I know, but there's a lot of them that I honestly don't. A lot of them are references to, like, other Nintendo games, but some of them are kind of obscure. Alright, we have 8 so far. We need to go down here and break that. And then go all the way back here. We don't need Fighter anymore, that's fine. Another thing worth noting is that Kirby isn't useless as soon as he loses a copy ability. He's good on his own. And, like, there's genuine reasons to play as regular Kirby instead of Kirby with a copy ability. I forgot to grab that other bomb block. Okay. So the puzzle to get this one is really long-winded for some reason. I actually want to get this Poppy Bros Jr. just so I can get Cutter. Cutter's not important yet, but it will be. Get a Phantom Mask, that is from Super Mario Bros. 2. These things used to terrify me when I played Mario Advance Mario Bros. 2. So you'd get the key from the pot, and then the Phantom Mask would come alive and start chasing you, and it terrified me. Then again, I used to be scared of everything as a kid. Okay, this room. Bonkers is above some blocks that break very easily. We want to make sure that he does not kill himself. And then we can get Hammer. We don't need Hammer. I thought we did when I was writing my notes, but then there's nothing else about Hammer written down. So I guess we don't need Hammer. I just want to grab it. There is something I wanted to show about it that I never did. I just want to make sure all the Plasma Wisps are dead. There is also more to Plasma than I knew when we last went over it. In fact, it's one of the most powerful abilities in the game. Got a Starstone here. We'll be going over what makes Plasma so special later. So we don't really need it for now, but again, one of the most powerful abilities in the game. Okay, what's down here? This feels like there... Yep, okay. Okay, yep. My notes even said be careful when freeing the Gordos from their prison. I gave myself little hints for where all the treasures are, but not, like, exact directions. Found the Beast Fang. Alright. I don't know what the Beast Fang is a reference to, but it looks like the Quick Claw from Pokemon. And also the Razor Claw. Alright, Okay. So I actually want to get rid of Hammer, but there's more than one way to get rid of Hammer. If Sir Kibble wasn't an annoying bitch. Well, that's actually a third way, is getting hit by an enemy. If you dash and press X, Kirby will toss the hammer using one of the most powerful attacks in the entire game. But you also lose the hammer ability when you use that. We're going to be keeping that in mind for later because that comes in extreme handy in the future. I want to break these bomb blocks here to get this chest. This is the room where we finally need Cutter. Watch out for the attacks around here because they'll steal your ability. Bandana. I don't know if that's actually a reference to anything in particular, but it could be a reference to Street Fighter, I guess. If we break this one down here, we get the Season's Heart. Again, no clue what it's a reference to. I'm sure that one is a reference to something. Maybe it's a reference to, like, Zelda Oracle of Seasons or whatever. I don't know. Okay. So we don't actually need Sword for the boss because this is where I want to show something off. I've been talking a lot about how good blocking is. So we're gonna beat this boss just by blocking. Nothing else. This is gonna take a long time, but it's funny. It's for the meme. As you can see, our block is slowly chipping away damage and we aren't taking any ourselves. Here he comes. So yeah, it's not doing a lot, but it is damaging him. Especially when he does this thing where he just runs across the entire screen. Look how much damage we are doing. Wow. That's incredible. My notes say to do this for the entire boss fight, but I don't want to. I think I did in my original Let's Play, but I don't have a speed up button. I'm playing on real hardware this time. Fatty Whale is not that hard. You can only hit him while he's on screen. And he's largely just in the background. I don't like the message this game is trying to send me about, like, whale hunting. Or poaching, I guess, would be for whales. I don't know if that's actually hunting. Generally, hunting is illegal, I think. Poaching is just kind of illegal hunting. Okay. That rock hit me in the head just as I was about to finish him off. That's rude. I just thought his death animation was funny. Alright. Grab that Maxim tomato, and yeah, this counts as one of the areas, but there's no treasure in here. So don't worry about this. And you can probably guess all the small areas are going to be like this. There's not 8 areas in the game, there's 4. And one of those 4 is actually optional, but we aren't there yet. So, we are now in the crystal area. We go underwater here. Sword is another ability we can actually use under the water. We can get ourselves a dime for 10G, which means that these treasures are actually equal to, like, American currency. Grab a 1-up and a glass slipper for 120,000 G. By the way, if you want to know exactly how much money you should have before heading on to the next area, you can check on the bottom screen, and according to my notes, before heading on to the boss of the last area, I had 1,067,690 gold. Or just have 13 items. So yeah, we're going to be going over all of the Great Cave Offensive, which means this is going to be more than one episode. I'm not ready to end this one off just yet. I think we can get through the crystal area. Or at least get started on hunting down some of the treasures in here. If we hit this switch, that will spawn a bunch of water. Which will make it harder, but not impossible, to grab this. The goblet. Did you put your name in the goblet of fire? Dumbledore said calmly. Alright, if we head down here and hit this, that spawns a treasure that will fall into a pit if you don't get it fast enough. It's just a saucepan. but we want all the treasure we can get. The more money, the better. Sounding like a real capitalist here. We have 17 so far. I think I missed one. Or not. Actually, it's impossible that I missed one. Yeah, I didn't miss one. I'm just dumb. So let's keep going. So we need sword for the next one. So using sword, we can hit that switch through the wall. Grab the brass knuckle. Weirdly violent for a Kirby game. So we have to go to the left of this one. Hit this. I assume we have to hit that. I hope so. Okay, yep. Nope, this treasure is a dick. You can easily miss it because of the current. So make sure you don't. Amber Rose. I don't know if this is a reference. It just looks like a little, like, rose statuette. Who knows? So if we break this bomb block... Okay, the wind makes it kind of annoying to get into this door, but 2 treasures just out in the open. Fish fossil and beast fossil. Beast fossil's worth a lot more. We already have 21 items, so you may be thinking, okay, so you were wrong and we are going to get all of them really quickly. No. Don't let the first 2 areas fool you. I was not joking when I said Great Cave is the hardest game in Kirby Superstar Ultra. Or one of. At least the hardest in Superstar. Alright. So once we head to the end of the room, you can see the treasure in the ceiling there, but we can't get it until we beat Poppy Bros Sr. Which is easy, we've done it like 6 times already. And get the machine parts. Also don't know what that's a reference to, if anything. Again, I'm just going to be going over references that I get, which isn't going to be a ton. Okay. Next, we are going to head into the middle room. These are the 2 that aren't required. We actually can't do this one. No, wait, never mind. I always, like, trick myself into thinking you can't do it because you, like, can't tell that you can go up in this room. But we do have to go up. And not get Jet. Okay, stop bullying me, game. I'm not gonna let you bully me just because I'm, like... because it's late. I usually record very early in the day, so if I sound tired, it's because I'm recording very late in the day. It's like 7:30 right now, which I guess isn't very late, but it's later than I usually record, at least for Let's Plays. I can't actually remember the last time I recorded this late. Okay, we hit that star block, we can grab a bucket. Cool, we're gonna do some MLG bucket tricks. There might be one up here. I'm trying not to read my notes too much. Like, I'm just trying to go as, like, blind as I can. I didn't write down what any of the treasures are in my notes. I know I have some of them, like, memorized from, like, when I was a kid. But for the most part, I'm trying to go into this with as little knowledge as possible. Use these platforms to get over here. We can get a Maxim Tomato. Careful of the spikes in here. Spikes do a lot of damage, like no matter where they are. Okay, okay. I guess we're just damage boosting through all of them. Okay. Kirby just had to jump for one of his attacks with sword. Power Paintbrush. Is this a reference to Canvas Curse? I know they changed some of the names of the treasures in this game from the original SNES release. I don't know if they actually changed any of the treasures themselves. If it's not for Magic Mirror, it might be from one of the Kirby's Dream Land games with Adeline. I don't know for sure, though. Okay, be careful of the Gordos in here. It's in my notes and I just ignored them. Treasure number 25. $100 coin. We don't have those in the real world. And that makes 25, which is all the treasures in this room. I don't like how hurt I am. But if you ever want to not be hurt, go to any of the save rooms and just hit the save thing. And that will fully restore your health. I'm not too worried about saving in this game in particular. I know, like, in most Let's Plays in the past, I've been like, oh, I can't save during a Let's Play. With Kirby, it's so lenient with where it lets you restart after, like, ending a game that, like, it doesn't matter. Get the Ancient Gem in here, which is actually a Magatama. It's not really a reference to anything, it's just something in Japanese culture. Alright, I want to grab Cutter. And Tack wants to steal Cutter. That's great. If Tack ever steals your item, you can just kill them and they'll drop it. Get the Falcon helmet down here. Cool. I'm pretty sure that's a reference to F-Zero. It would be weird if it wasn't. Okay. Okay. So our last treasure, or our last treasures actually aren't until towards the end of the room, so we just have a relatively normal Kirby game for now. So this is sort of similar to what future Kirby games ended up becoming for a little while. With Kirby and the Amazing Mirror specifically, they went for like a Metroidvania open world type Kirby game, which is a really weird speaking of Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, here's a cell phone. She uses pretty much the same sprite as the one in Amazing Mirror. They went for sort of an open world Metroidvania style for Kirby for a little bit. And this is sort of like a predecessor to that. Like, even in Amazing Mirror, there's like treasure chests all around. We're not gonna grab that tomato yet because we're probably gonna want it after going through never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I don't know why there's a Maxim tomato here. We have to go through a maze of spikes and Gordos with a wind current going against us. I don't need Cutter. Alright, so at the end of the room there's no current. We can get the Truth Mirror, which is either a reference to Snow White? Cinderella? I don't remember what Disney princess has the Truth Mirror. I'm just going to say it's a reference to Shrek. Or again, it could be a reference to Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. I don't know if they actually changed these treasures and what they are. More than just the names, at least. By the end of this area, you should have 29 treasures and 2,265,790 gold. And for this boss, the ability doesn't really matter, but out of these, Fighter would probably be best. You'll know when you have all the treasures in the area as well if there is a gold coin next to them on the bottom screen. So this boss is computer virus. I wanted to get Hammer. Ugh. So there's 3 phases to this fight. The first is the slime. The slime pretty much does nothing for all of its attacks except for this one. Which you can, like, not... Oh, hammer, hammer, hammer! No! Ugh. Hammer? Fine. Next up is a Puppet. Puppet gets the first attack. And it swaggers, but nothing happens. Unfortunately for him, confusion is not a status in this game. And unfortunately for me, attack is not a stat in this game. So yeah, as you can see, the Puppet has a lot of attacks that aren't doing anything as well. Running into them does damage, but that's the case for all the enemies in the game. These things are unlikely to be able to hurt you. Let's use Spark, since I just talked about how it's one of the most powerful abilities in the game. It starts laughing. We're at full charge. Look how much that did. That was about as much as 2 hits. As well as that, if you guard while using Plasma, you can actually charge up while guarding. This gives you not only your normal guard, but the Plasma Shield, which, like, for some attacks burst them before they hit you, so they don't do as much damage. Knowing that you can guard while charging Plasma makes it one of the most overpowered abilities in the game. 100 EXP, Heroism went up by 5, Roundness went up by 1, your Sincerity went up by 3, your Spirit went up by 4, your Squishiness went up by 4, your Love went up by 2. Well, that's a bad thing in Undertale. But yeah, to make Plasma even better, on a 3DS you have a circle pad. This makes it so much easier to charge up this shield. I genuinely cannot stress enough how good Plasma is, and I learned this from watching a Let's Play that had maybe 150 views. I don't actually remember the views, but I feel like it was close to that. So, hey, if I can find that, like, who did that Let's Play, future me, please feel free to credit them on the end screen. We have now reached sort of a midpoint of sorts. The old tower area is the only optional area in Kirby Superstar Ultra, or more specifically Great Cave Offensive. It is also, by far, the hardest area in Great Cave Offensive and in the original Kirby Superstar. So yeah, since this is going for 100%, unfortunately, I have to do this. Next time on Kirby Superstar Ultra, we begin going through the old tower. See you guys then.